Welcome to Safety Blitz 2021. Today we're going to talk about a wide range of safety and emergency preparedness situations that you might find at the Hillsdale County Medical Care Facility. Probably the most frequent used code in the facility is a code 99. That is any serious situation, something that needs prompt attention. If you're the one that's making the notification or you've been asked to make a notification, you would go to any facility phone, hit the page button, and say loudly and clearly, code 99, room 2610. Code 99, room 2610. All of the nurses should be reporting to this area. If you are in the area, you can go ahead and check with the nurses involved in that room to see if your assistance is needed. A code 800 is a missing or wandering resident. The procedure for a code 800 is do a preliminary search of the area in which the resident was last seen, contact your supervisor, page overhead, code 800, give the resident's name, say cannot be located, room number, any description that you have of the resident themselves, what kind of clothing they might have been wearing, and try to be a little bit more specific. Instead of saying, code 800, we have an 85-year-old female. Okay, that doesn't tell us a lot at this type of facility. You need to give the resident's name and then a little bit more of a description. If you don't have a description, ask someone who knows the resident to give you a description. 5 foot tall, 6 foot tall, 98 pounds, 300 pounds. Makes a big difference. Were they in street clothes or were they in warm jammies with pink fluffy slippers? It will help those people looking who have no idea what this resident looks like. The other thing too, it doesn't have to be a resident. This could be a visitor or a staff member as well. So keep that in mind. The earlier you call a code 800, the bigger possibility of finding that resident or visitor or staff member. Don't forget to look in stairwells, closets. Think of weird places. So. Next, we're going to talk a couple of seconds about a bomb threat. First, keep calm. Keep the caller on the phone as long as possible if you're the one taking the call regarding a bomb threat. If possible, let someone else listen too. If you've got someone right nearby, hold the phone out so you both can hear. But listen carefully. What are you hearing? What type of words are you hearing? What language? Background noises, male, female. Just listen carefully. Ask questions about the bomb, the placement. Do they know when it's going to designate? Why did they do it? And as soon as you're off the phone, call 911 and the supervisor or someone in administration immediately. Then check your emergency preparedness guide for the full bomb threat procedure. Now, some of these things that we're going to talk about may seem, oh, that'll never happen here. Well, it's happened somewhere, as you're going to see in the next couple of videos. Any of these things have happened somewhere. That's why we have the information we have, and we've geared our training and procedures based on lessons learned in those situations. Power failures are the one thing that are probably more likely to have happen in the facility than any of the other things that we've discussed. They're about enough to drive everybody crazy, especially when it happens at night. So be prepared for yourself. Have a little flashlight that you can carry with you. I think the best things that I've seen are the ball caps with the little lanterns in them. Those work great. You don't have to carry a flashlight. It's right there. Have some extra batteries stored in your department. You may want to have an extra cell phone charger. Just think about all the things that you use electricity for that we may not have. Not every plug here works during a power failure. Our generator's good, it's not that good. So if you need it to run medical equipment, you can make sure you plug it into a outlet that is a red outlet. And over in East Wing, there are no red outlets, but it is the outlet that is in the wall where the little nightlight is. I didn't know that till August either. So just be prepared. I think the biggest problem we had back in August was not having the communication. We didn't have access to the overhead call systems. People couldn't make announcements. So we had runners running from scheduling, from supervision to the different units. So just think about all those things that would be affected in your department and what can you do to make your life easier if we do have a power failure. You can pretty much expect one to happen sometime during the spring, summer season every year, at least for a few minutes. Hopefully not much longer than that. If you're not familiar with the procedures for computer downtime, whether it's a scheduled downtime from point-click care or whether it's unscheduled by power failure, know what the procedures are, know where your paper forms are at, and what your department would do in case the computers do go down. Chemical accidents. Now this is another thing that people think, oh, it will never happen here. As I'm talking right now, I'm listening to the train whistles in the background, and we actually sit in a very prime area for a possible chemical accident, one being a rail tanker derailment, as pictured in the slide. We've got Dow Chemical sitting at our back door, our front door. There's a lot of different possibilities for a chemical accident. Tanker trucks going down M99 or anything out in the industrial park. So be thinking, what would I need to do in the event of a chemical accident? Always check your emergency preparedness guides for what the situation is. Would we have to evacuate? Would we stay sheltered in place by closing all the windows, having everyone stay indoors? So just check your emergency preparedness guides. If we did have to evacuate, severe weather can always play a role in the facility emergencies. Over the last year, we had too many that were too close to home. Had a couple tornadoes in the area that were way too close to this facility. Severe thunderstorms can be just as dangerous as tornadoes. Lightning, wind, trees coming down, of course tornadoes. The snow and ice is probably one of the top possibilities of things that can happen that would cause us to have an emergency, and that emergency may be something as simple as staffing that can create havoc within our facility. And you wouldn't think of earthquakes as being an issue within the facility, but as you can see on the next slide, earthquakes have been a problem in Michigan. A few summers ago, we did have an earthquake hit in the Kalamazoo area, and it was felt in Coldwater, a little bit in Hillsdale, and did a lot of damage. As you can see in the slide, a plastic chair fell over in the Hillsdale area. So be cautious of those earthquakes. Probably not a good chance of having a flood in the facility. However, I did hear that back several years ago, the basement did flood. So I guess there is a chance. We want to just make sure our residents are safe. The nice thing about a flood here, it's probably going to be over a matter of time where we have time to make those arrangements, get people moved to a higher level. But again, check your emergency preparedness books for what is the exact procedure for floods. The one thing we do drill on frequently is fire safety, using the fire extinguishers, what to do inside the facility if there is a fire emergency, where are the fire extinguishers located. All of our new folks learn in orientation where the fire extinguishers are located. When do we evacuate? Most generally, we would not evacuate, maybe over to a different section of the building. But know your fire preparedness. That's probably the number 2 thing that could happen in this facility. So read your fire manuals, your emergency preparedness manuals, and find out exactly what you should do in case of a fire. And finally, one of the things I want you to think about is plan for the unexpected. How would you be able to come to work or stay at work when you know you have things and responsibilities at home? So you have a family at home, you need to make sure that they're taken care of, you have animals that need to be taken care of. How are you going to get here? We want you to be safe and feel comfortable at work if we are in an emergency situation. So if you have everything planned out in advance, who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to get them to where they need to be and make sure they're taken care of? Who's going to take care of the animals? If you plan these things in advance, you are more likely to come to work or stay at work. And at work, how would you stay here and be comfortable? Say you had to stay here, let's say you had to stay here for 3 days. What would make you comfortable? Do you have a locker here? If you don't, get one. There's lots of empty lockers. Throw in an extra set of scrubs or 2, and maybe just a set of casual clothes. Throw in some snacks and drinks. Don't count on the facility to have enough food and drinks to take care of the residents and take care of the staff. Have your own snacks and drinks in your locker, things that don't expire right away. Snack crackers, cookies, beef jerky, bottles of water. Those all work good. I keep toothbrush, toothpaste. I keep a blow dryer, shampoo, conditioner, with hopefully our showers would be working if we were in an emergency situation. So, and a good towel so that you would be able to be somewhat comfortable by staying here. We always offer beds when available. Right now, we're lucky we have Briar Rose to be able to put people up. Winter, we got a couple not blizzards, but ice storms and big snowfalls this past winter. And twice we opened up Briar Rose to be able to let staff stay in those rooms. But if you already have your stuff here in your locker, then you're going to be more comfortable and more apt to be able to stay instead of saying, I'm going home no matter what. Our residents need you. Don't think that the next shift is going to be able to get here, because they might not. As you can see in the prior videos, there are many safety issues and emergencies that we train for and why we have an emergency preparedness procedure book. Some of the situations are a little far-fetched, but clearly they happen somewhere. And some, they're a little more realistic. The severe thunderstorms, the icy roads, power failures. So be familiar with that emergency preparedness book. Where is it located? How would you find what your department needs to do? And be ready for any situation. Thanks for attending today. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.